Good morning to you, our viewers. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. I hope you're having a lovely and pleasant morning. I'm your host, Miriam Kaiman. Of course, in studio, I'm not alone. I am joined by my colleague, Nelson Zulu, where we're going to take you for an hour or so and looking at various issues that are happening in our country. Among them is the latest thing that we saw, Nelson.
Yeah, the resignation of former Foreign Affairs Minister and International Cooperation, Stanley Kakubo, on grounds of alleged financial scandals. And we saw this resignation coming at a time when social media was actually flooded with a lot of the postings. And I think for me, I was just trying to really have an understanding of exactly what was going on, in the sense that you see, this was the second scandal. Alleged second scandal that was coming into the limelight, and I was following through the debate, and one thing I can say for now is that we still have a long way to go in terms of handling our social media, because, for instance, the story was about the alleged financial scandal of the former Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Minister, but we even saw pictures of him and the wife flooding social media. How is the wife connected?
Exactly. Anyway, so that, among other stories, is what we're going to be looking at, or rather discussing this morning. You, our viewers, can take part in our conversation by dropping us that message. If you're watching us live on Facebook, and those who are watching us in the comfort of your home, please do call us. Let us get engaged in our conversation this morning. What is your take on the resignation of now former Foreign Affairs Minister? But right about now, let's get direct into our health corner and just see what the doctors have for us this morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Health Corner here on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakuyana Mfaya. So this week we are talking about another interesting topic, and we're talking about asthma. So yesterday we talked about some of the triggers of asthma. We say that asthma can be triggered by certain pollutants in the environment, like dust, pollen from plants, and also pets can also trigger asthma if they have dust, and if the fur from the pets, such as a dog or a cat, it can trigger asthma as well. We also talked about infections that affect the respiratory system that can also trigger asthma. Cold air and also exercise can trigger asthma. So today we'll talk about some of the signs and symptoms. How can you know for sure that you are experiencing an asthmatic attack? Whether it's you having it for the first time or somebody who has asthma as a condition, and how can you know that you are having an attack? So one of the ways that you can know is that the person who has an asthmatic attack will start having shortness of breath. So they will not be able to breathe in properly. They will be having difficulties to breathe. And the other thing is that they would have chest tightness. So they'll feel like their chest is very tight on the inside, or because of the inflammatory processes that are going on in the chest, and just how the body is responding to the allergen or the irritant that is irritating the chest. The other thing is that they would have a wheezing sound. So this doesn't happen to everyone. It's not in all cases, but sometimes they would have this wheeze that you'll be able to hear, whether you are close to them or even the patient themselves will be able to hear it when they are breathing. They'll be able to feel some kind of a wheeze in the chest. The other thing is that so the wheezing is more like a sound that you can be able to hear as air is passing through the airways. You'll be able to hear some sound that is happening in the chest. The other thing is that they would have a cough. So the cough doesn't happen in everyone. Some people will not have a cough, and there are others who would only have a cough and not have all these other symptoms. So there's what we call a cough variant asthma. This is the type of asthma where somebody just has a cough, excessive cough. Usually it comes about very suddenly. Maybe they have been exposed to some irritant. Maybe it's a perfume that somebody is wearing and they start coughing because they have been affected by that. So that's one of the symptoms of asthma. So we talked about the symptoms of asthma. We say people with asthma can have a cough, and that can be the only presenting complaint, where somebody is just coughing and they're not stopping, and maybe it's becoming worse as time goes on. The other thing is that they would have shortness of breath and difficulties in breathing. They would also have a chest tightness that they would feel in the chest, and sometimes they might hear a sound as they are breathing that we call a wheezing sound. So those are some of the symptoms of asthma. If you experience any of these symptoms, then you need to go to the hospital as soon as possible, because asthma is deadly and it can kill somebody at a very fast rate if it's not attended to quickly, because we need air for us to survive. So if the air is being blocked, then we definitely need to do something about it so the patient can be able to breathe better. So tomorrow we'll talk about the diagnosis and treatment. How is it diagnosed in the hospital, and also how can it be treated? What are some of the medications that are used to treat asthma? So make sure you watch tomorrow again. Invite your friends and your family as well. And if you have any questions, reach out to me on Facebook at Dr. Nakubyanamfire. And if you need to watch other videos, you can watch them on YouTube at Dr. Nakubyanamfire. So I'll see you again next time. Stay blessed and stay healthy.
I hope you did learn one or two things there, where the doctor was talking about signs and symptoms of asthma. But right about now, let's get direct into our money market. We have the United States dollar there buying at 25 kwacha 23 ngwe and selling at 25 kwacha 73 ngwe. We have the euro there buying at 27 kwacha 80 ngwe and selling at 28 kwacha 35 ngwe. We have the Great British Pound there buying at 32 kwacha 06 ngwe and selling at 32 kwacha 69 ngwe. We have the South African Rand there buying at 1 kwacha 36 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 38 ngwe. That is a foreign exchange for today, the 27th of December 2023, as of at 0719. Just a few cents on the selling part for it to be at 26. But I really don't want to comment on that.
It is closely trying to match up with the date for today, the 27th of December. It is racing in those range, but for me, I keep being positive about the entire thing, because I mean, we've gotten assurances.
It's in competition.
Yes, it's in competition. It also wants to be part of 26. It also wants to be part of 27, but we see how things are going to turn out in the coming weeks, because we're being told that a lot of measures are being put in place to ensure that we see some sort of stability, as well as some sort of pressure being cushioned when it comes to maybe to the cost of living, as well as cost of doing business. So
yeah, and we did see on Friday last week the president, assuring the nation that 2024 will be a very good year. It's a promising year, because a lot of measures are being put in place to address the high cost of living. But we have seen that various opposition political leaders have come on board, to question the president's assurance, or in terms of, addressing the high cost of living. in 2024, alleging that if they failed to manage, addressing the high cost of living in 2023, what assurance are they giving to the Zambian citizen that they are going to do that in 2024? But anyway, like I said earlier on in my preamble, that government has said, assured the nation rather, that they have put in different mechanisms to ensure that they address the high cost of living. But anyway, to you, our viewers, this morning we are looking at, or rather we want to hear your take on what you think about the resignation of the former Foreign Affairs Minister, Mr. Stanley Kakuo. What do you think about that move? You, our viewers out there who are watching us in the comfort of your home, give us a call. And those watching us live on Facebook, let us get interacted. Anyway, moving forward, Nelson, what are some of the stories that we had yesterday in our news?
Yeah, some of the stories that we get to look at this morning that were making headlines in our previous bulletin as of last night are stories coming from Kamwala, where some traders have described 2023 as a tough and challenging year owing to the prevailing economic environment in the country. Speaking to Camnet News, Moses Piri says compared to the previous year, 2023 has been a challenging business year owing to little or no money in circulation. We also get to look at the story from the education sector, where the Ministry of Education has emphasized that grade 7 pupils without a certificate should not be enrolled to grade 8 in 2024. This follows the end of the 100% automatic progression of learners from grade 7 into grade 8 in 2022. And these are some of the stories that we also get to look at. And on the very exciting note,
and a big congratulations to the grade 9 and 7 that progressed
to the other levels.
To the other level.
Yeah,
it's a very, and those who did not make it anyway, it's not the end of the world. You can still rewrite, and But we had the minister advising them that if they don't want to sit for these exams once again, they can just maybe enroll themselves into these skills institutions.
Yeah. And for me, what was so exciting was I received a lot of pressure, especially from home. I was busy in the office, and then I received a call. You need to check for this one. You need to check for that one. I'm like, okay, please, I'm at work. I'm going to check the results.
And amongst the people that you checked for, everyone
amongst the people I checked for, almost everyone made it. But what was so exciting was my sister progressed to grade 10.
Oh, congratulations to her.
That was the most exciting part.
Anyway, let's get to look at those two stories, and we'll be back.
During the end-of-year conference, Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema described 2023 as a challenging year while acknowledging the country's economic hardships, despite initiating different measures to stabilize the economy. The local currency, kwacha, has since depreciated against major world currencies, but amidst such factors, businesses had to run regardless. Well, small-scale businesses have not been spared around the central business district of Lusaka, with small-scale business owners revealing that 2023 has been a difficult business year. One of the traders talked to by this journalist says his business has been slow in the year 2023, alleging that there is no money in circulation.
Kutoka Japan mu 2023 business yankala yovuta kwambiri kupambana ku mbuyo ndakafika ino nthawi stage zakaza ku mbuyo nishipano apa customers nishitibulisa maningi manje pali ino nthawi tavutika kai customer kulibe kuenda alipendera kulibe vilifonso ne vochitika so ndikungokhala chabe mukabwera chemwe nkhala so chabe olomwena katundu kulibe kuenda kana kai kulibe chakula ndalama yankhala yolimba kuti munthu achebwaje aipeze.
However, Josiah Jonto, a tailor, believes that with policies being put in place by the government, especially in the education sector, where pupils can buy uniforms from anywhere, his business has improved compared to the previous years.
I'm a tailor from Kamwala. What I can say about 2023 business, I can't complain. To meet our average. Because the government the way they have introduced, whereby every parent need to buy its own uniforms instead of buying at school. So to us as tailors, we are enjoying because it's a fair game. Long time ago, I think there was something like corruption. You need to have a connection with your head, hotels, or what. But this time, it's all about working hard. If you work hard, then God will bless you.
Meanwhile, social economist Kelvin Chisanga says the country has not performed well in terms of business to its desired level due to the number of factors.
Fairly very well, except the strong cost pressure around key commodities such as maize and a few others. That also has been able to now tackle to work out a different model or together come next year. So on average, I think we have not been able to do the way we did last year. We have downscaled our production, we have downscaled our performance. Even when you look at the economic growth patterns, it has not been able to work out according to what we should have actually been able to see it.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Government has committed to giving the country's education sector a facelift with the ongoing curriculum review process. Minister of Education Douglas Yakalima has directed all head teachers countrywide not to enroll any pupil in grade 8 who did not obtain the grade 7 certificate, because such pupils will not be able to enter for the secondary school examination in future until they obtain one.
Head teachers of secondary schools are instructed not to enroll any pupil in grade 8 who did not obtain the primary school certificate, because such pupils will not be able to enter for the secondary school examination in future until they obtain the primary school, that is grade 7 certificate. The 2024 grade 8 and 10 classes will open on Monday together with everybody, 8th January 2024.
The minister was speaking during the announcement of grade 7 and grade 9 results for candidates who sat for the 2023 examinations and disclosed that 316,690 out of 454,213 candidates who wrote grade 7 exams passed to grade 8. Mr. Siakalima also indicates that since the abolishment of automatic progression from primary to secondary school effective 2023 for grade 7 examinations, the progression rate is 69.72% compared to 100% which has been recorded since 2018. Meanwhile, 158,313 candidates who sat for grade 9 exams have passed to grade 10 out of 291,894 candidates, representing a pass rate of 53.55%, a decrease from the 2022 pass rate which stood at 54.16% in 2022. The Education Minister also disclosed that out of the 291,894 grade 9 candidates who sat for the exams, a total of 109,803 obtained statements of results, while 25,776, representing 8.83%, failed the examination.
Out of the 291,894 candidates that sat the 2023 junior secondary school leaving examination, 156,315 candidates obtained certificates, representing 53.55%. This showed a marginal decrease in certificate pass rates from 54.1%.
Meanwhile, the Examination Council of Zambia, ECZ, disclosed that the exams were malpractice-free and hinted announcing the grade 12 results for 2023 in the second week of January in 2024.
Were once again conducted leakage-free, and that is extremely important for us. We also have observed, Honorable Minister, that the extent of malpractice at this level has drastically gone down as compared to last year. And this is due to concerted efforts with everybody, and especially the security wings. We want to indicate, Honorable Minister, that in our implementation of our mandate, we will continue to support the ministry and work under your guidance to ensure that the government policies are appropriately.
The new grade 8 and 10 classes will open on Monday, 8th January 2024, at the same time as other grades, and pupils will maintain their school places until Friday, 19th January 2024, and after that, school authorities may replace the selected candidates with any other who qualifies according to the set performance standards. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka. Some level of excitement, especially to those that made it to grade 8 as well as grade 10. But to those that did not make it, remember that there's always a second time, and be hopeful that things will work out for you. And we can only wish your colleagues a better way as they progress to these new grades. And what is so exciting also to note is that on the fact of automatic progression, we've seen that the pass rate at grade 7 level is somewhere at 69%, and we've seen a decrease at grade 9 level when it comes to the pass rate as well. And we hope that some certain measures are just going to be put in place to ensure that we also maybe see an increase or see numbers be at parity in terms of the pass rate at grade 9 level. And then I saw also some concerns yesterday to say, what do they mean when they say statement of results, they obtained statement of results? I think the general understanding is that when one has obtained statement of result at grade 9 level, it simply means they've managed to pass in some subjects, but in some subjects they've not managed to do so, meaning that they can still go now to rewrite those subjects that they did not fare well in. So I saw that. Now, what do they mean in statement of results?
Anyway, that was a confusion that we, a lot of questions that a lot of people raised. But one thing, Nelson, again, we should be very happy of is the new curriculum that is being, introduced in these schools, because we are going to see much more improvement. Because a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders, especially coming from the teachers union, had previously raised concern talking about how the curriculum was not, with the current modernity in terms of helping students, acquire the necessary knowledge that they need. Because you'll find that subjects like history, you start learning about Shaka. Yes, I know that is very important. But again, apart from learning history, we need some skills subjects that, young people should be equipped with, so as they, complete their school, they have some sort of skills at the end of the day. Because we saw most of the times we are this nation that is taught about history. We are meant to memorize things, which anyway, it's not bad, but currently we need the skills.
I do remember the times when we had an essay question most of the times in history about the kingdom of Mwatayamvu. So someone would argue to say, but why are we learning about the kingdom of Mwatayamvu? And then instead of us focusing on maybe solution-based practicals or theories that are at the end of the day will bring about bread and butter in our households. Even when you are done with your grade 9 or grade 12, you still have some sort of skill that you can safely say, okay, for me, I'm done with grade 9 or grade 12, but I've got such and such a skill that will provide for me at a later stage. And like most of the time, just focusing on, okay, is government labor really ready for me to go and start working for the government? Because that has always been a perception that you can only make it when you're working for a government.
Yeah, but one thing, Nelson, you should understand, like I said in my preamble, that it's very essential to learn about history, because you need to know how, certain things were developed. Because I remember, like, part of what I was learning, you find that in some certain ways, you apply history to the current modern world, how things were done previously and now how things are being done. You get to appreciate history. But what we're talking about is, at what level can we extend the learning of history? Because basically you won't spend your whole entire life just learning about history.
Yeah, and like one of my late grandparents would say, you see, she used to say, you can only make a better decision now when you reflect on the past.
Exactly.
The past will build the momentum in terms of how your future and the current should be. So it's like, okay, there's some sort of...
An example I'll give you is that those who are studying state diplomas, they will learn about history, how state protocol came into play, you know, how it was developed, how, what, and then they're applying it now in the modern world. And basically it helps. But anyway, moving forward, let's us get to look at another interesting story where opposition Kamfisa Member of Parliament Christopher Kangombe says it will be difficult for government to reduce the current meal price in the country. Mr. Kangombe claims the earlier assurance of export permits of maize and meal to neighboring countries has affected the supply of maize to the farmers. Meanwhile, Opposition Economic Front Party President Wita Kabimba has questioned assurances made by Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema to reduce the country's high cost of living in 2024. He said this when he featured on Monday on National Matters. Let us get to look at that interesting story.
To cushion the pressure of unstable meal prices, government this year through Zambia National Service flooded most chain stores and markets with Eagles branded ZNS meal to mitigate the high cost of the commodity in most parts of the country. Zambia depends on meal for its staple food, but in recent months, mixed feelings have emerged as a result of the impact of high meal prices in the country. Despite some of the measures being put in place, stakeholders from the church to ordinary citizens have shared their perspective on the meal issue. On Friday, 8th September 2023, while opening the third session of the 13th National Assembly, Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema reassured citizens that the economic challenges will be resolved and requested for patience among the citizens when it comes to reducing prices of meal. But Kamfinsa lawmaker Christopher Kangombe has predicted that it will be difficult to stabilize the price of meal in the country so long the issuance of export permits for maize and meal to neighboring countries is not halted. Mr. Kangombe suggests that the government should refocus its plan on addressing the pricing of the country's staple food.
The exportation of maize into Congo, into Central Africa, there are so many foreign companies buying maize at the border in Nakonde. Those are some of the things that have affected the supply of maize to the milling plant for them to be able to produce meal. I think that our colleagues need to be magnanimous and acknowledge that their decision did not achieve its intended objective, and that in the coming farming season we will see better management.
Recently, Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, during a press conference, vowed to stabilize the country's cost of living and other economic challenges by 2024 once the debt restructuring deal is sealed. But Economic Front President Wita Kabimba, when featured on the Camnet TV current affairs program dubbed National Matters Monday, questioned the attainability of the said assurances, alleging that other promises are still unimplemented.
Major issue, this fundamental issue about the livelihood, the welfare of the people, I think he missed it all.
The argument was that he has to work on the debt restructuring, then also everything else starts falling in place.
He has been saying that for the last 2 years. HH has to be very careful about his words, to the people of Zambia. Okay? I think he should stop taking the Zambian people for granted.
Currently, prices of meal in Lusaka fetch between 285 kwacha and 300 kwacha. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
These are hundreds of Tuesday market traders who have been displaced by St. Peter's Church leadership after trading here for over 20 years. A check by Camnet TV News found the traders conducting their businesses outside their usual trading shelter. The traders, some of whom spent the rainy night in the open, told Camnet TV News that they are displeased with the manner in which they have been chased.
Tirina mabanja usiyana siyana maona tilibe kosungira mabanja tichitatika kulisako patapeza ndama za fertilizer tichoka kutali kati nkazi kepasa busa basa tiumire mutima ani kosa mulungu sana ali kusanka Even chuta stereo tanali kumishita voipa but sana batairire nanga fati tairira branchi
benze bati mnati mangira kuti tizingalamo iso ogulisa bati naona chechi yao ni yameti na pesa kuja consequences sanga kuja ndise tinabwata kilina kuti paoneke so bati lero taipa atipisha monga ndisema imbwa maona chameti nala kwa sibati uza lizoni yameti nala kwa kulibeki kuli
ngati wapeza kamistake
songo timalipira
kazika pasi
abati kuliza produce market pende sanga toa miapo tamama mangapo lero mukamba kuti chokepo 25 years 23 years yenze choose the market lero muli 1 month ngale ni church sama timela kuchifundo for 6 months tizibakoye ndambula isina ichagwira kusa bantu bonse kulokewa munganga udeleseni saka udeleseni mulungu
lero batipisha tabasebenzera tabamangira market church tayimanga lero batipisha semo ngati ndise bakawara so ise tipempa batipikire koma days yayo kuti timatisakire malo timange market yatu.
Some have vowed not to move, saying the shelter from which they were trading was built using their money.
Since my father kaunda father ndani muntu chabe kubwera from nowhere from mazabuka batipisha pa church imesipanga sense ola kwa pesa chance mbula isiri ndiba nitika choka pa pa church sinakana ku moving tatukele no ku moving okulanda titie ko batwe tufume bati kama tufera chance ni starian season u apa bachuze make ndiba ntijesela bana belangu isendi sema chani tili HIV positive ndiba tiba jese ndiba tiba gulevo kuja kutitile tipeze health ola pamela pa ntawe yambula tipisha tichoke ana kwa tizaenda kuti kulipa kwa tizaenda wezati pesa chance kuyenda kwa vestinga moving.
Meanwhile, Tuesday market leadership has wondered why the church has decided to chase them despite the matter being active in court, further saying the church should have considered giving them time to find another place where they can be conducting their businesses, unlike displacing them abruptly.
I've been here for the past 25 years doing business with them, but giving us a 1 month notice is not adequate for us because this is rain season, and where can we take 400 members, cooperators during rain season? These are vulnerable people, 95% they are women and the widows.
As you know, it's not easy to put up a big structure to accommodate about 300 to 400 people. I've only got a bit of money. So to also appeal to well-wishers who can come on board and help Tuesday market, to return to its normal position.
They have since appealed to government and well-wishers to help them put up a new structure at a place they have secured. Efforts to get a comment from Reverend Robert Sihuwa of the said congregation was unsuccessful as his phone went unanswered. The displacement of traders has continued. God knows how many have been displaced this far and how their survival will be. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
We hope that the concerns of the traders there at Tuesday market will be urgently addressed by the relevant authorities there. And earlier on, we did look at a story where Kamfisa area member of parliament, Christopher Kangombe, was talking about the issue of milling price, as well as we did see Wita Kabimba, the Economic Front Party president, questioning the president's assurance of addressing the high cost of living in 2024. Quite interesting two stories there. But anyway, moving forward, let us get direct into a story where we have based our focus on this morning, talking about the resignation of the former Foreign Affairs Minister, Stanley Kakuwo, who yesterday, and before he resigned, we did see our reporter Athias Kaputula on the ground trying to get a comment from government, who is the Minister of Information and spokesperson, Mr. Cornelius Mwetwa, where he earlier indicated that government was not to give a comment on that story. But anyway, later on we did see that in the evenings that the former Foreign Affairs Minister did tender in his resignation, and also we have seen that the Anti-Corruption Commission, which is the ACC, has expressed the interest in ensuring that they investigate this case. But anyway, let's get to look at that story where the government said that they will not give a comment before the minister tendered in his resignation.
said he got an envelope with a calendar and diary inside. Maybe he shouldn't have done it. It's him talking to me. I said, what were you carrying in that envelope?
This is President Hakainde Hichilema in 2022 defending his Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Stanley Kakubo, after his Sonoma visit sparked a public debate in the country. Mr. Kakubo later defended himself as carrying a calendar when he left Sonoma Cement was accused of being engaged in corrupt practices at the facility. The story has however taken a new twist, and verified videos believed to be of Mr. Kakubo and the Chinese nationals counting money part of the $20,000, which is suspected to have been carried on that fateful day, has flooded social media. A local newspaper Tuesday carried a headline claiming the minister has been exposed in the video and President Hakainde Hichilema summoned him over the matter. However, when asked for a comment, government chief spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa says the allegations are personal and the state cannot be drawn to comment on the matter. Mr. Mwetwa since urged the media to desist from one-sided stories as the trend is threatening the integrity of the profession.
There is nowhere where it says that he received that money on behalf of, he said to have received money on behalf of government. Those are personal allegations, and my preference is that you get in touch with him so that you get the reality, because there's a lot of sensational reporting which is detrimental to the integrity of the media recently.
Taking to his social media page, former Lusaka Province Minister Boma Lusambo, who is having a fair share of corruption allegations in the courts of law himself, sympathized with Mr. Kakubo, but called on the Anti-Corruption Commission ACC to apply the law fairly and seize all items suspected to be obtained corruptly by the minister. Outspoken United Party for National Development UPND member Venea Chombwa has since demanded for Mr. Kakubo to resign to pave way for investigations.
To me, as a citizen of this country and as a person that has been advocating for the fight against corruption, we are saying the minister would do a service to the nation, if he would resign from his position to allow all investigative wings to investigate this matter. You may be privy to the information that this is not the first case involving the said minister.
Efforts to get a comment from Mr. Kakubo proved futile as his phone went unanswered. For now, it remains to be seen if the head of state will come out and defend his minister over the said allegations. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
So that story was done earlier before the former Foreign Affairs Minister tendered his resignation yesterday to the president, and that was government position, saying that they could not give a comment to that matter. But anyway, later after the former Foreign Affairs Minister tendered his resignation, this is what he had to say on his he did post something on his Facebook page and said, in view of the matter that is currently in the media regarding malicious claims over a business transaction between my private family business and our business partner with whom we still have good relations, I tendered in my resignation as Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Zambia. This decision is to ensure that our government is not distracted from continuing to look for solutions for bettering the lives of our people. I remain loyal to His Excellency the President, to the government of Zambia, and to our party, the United Party for National Development, that has sponsored me twice as Member of Parliament. I will continue to diligently serve the people of Kapiri Poshi as Member of Parliament. That is what the former Foreign Affairs Minister had to say after he tendered his resignation to the president yesterday. A lot of things happened yesterday, and we also have seen that the Anti-Corruption Commission, Nelson, says it has taken keen interest in the matter to determine the next course of action.
And latest to that is that there is also an alleged reported letter that is making rounds in social media where
the Chinese are demanding
the Chinese are demanding that Mr. Kakubo
Kakubo should pay about 22
million
kwacha within 48 hours, as well as refund the 300,000 worth bends back to them, and should also add a 10% interest,
which is quite interesting anyway. But other reports that we did see coming from social media is that he allegedly sold his mining license to 2 individuals there.
Yeah, and for me, I now get to question is, he sold his mine, right?
Yeah.
But was this mine really verified in terms of it being legally his? Because all those questions are going to pop.
Exactly, they are going to do that.
And then for me also, when I looked at the write-up that he brought into the limelight, one thing, first of all, that clicked into my mind was there was a sentence where he said, so that government runs is not distracted. So how does the issue of the alleged financial scandal now relate to government? Because I feel him resigning is all, and everything should just be that he's resigning.
Exactly. He did allude to the fact that his decision to resign is because not too much focus should be centered on government responding to these allegations of why they're still keeping a minister, a cabinet minister who is involved in such alleged scandals. Anyway, he did allude to that fact. But one thing again I have seen is that other people have questioned that if he resigned on moral ground, why is it right for him to continue as member of parliament? Yeah, those are the questions that we have continued to see coming from people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this something that is just coming up in terms of maybe how things should actually be done? Yeah. Well, we get to look at how things get to evolve.
Yeah.
We get to look at how things get to evolve.
But one thing we should not also forget is that a lot of time the opposition political parties have cried of political persecution, and now we have seen that the SEC is stating, or rather claiming, that they have taken a keen interest in the matter. And now we did also see former Kabushere Member of Parliament Bowman Lusambo saying that, you know, this time around the law should be applied equally.
Equally.
Yeah,
but I'm looking for...
But everyone is innocent until proven guilty. So due diligence in terms of doing thorough investigations should be conducted before any arrest or someone being dragged to court can be, before those actions can be taken. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good that the Anti-Corruption Commission is saying we're taking keen interest. So hopefully this keen interest will lead to something, because everyone now is waiting to hear was this business transaction really illegal?
Legally, yeah.
Order, or did it follow all the necessary procedures? Because claims or hearsay or allegations do have it that, you see, this mine was sold to 2 people.
To 2 people, yes. So, and others were saying, you know, the Chinese bribed him and stuff like that. Exactly. But if questions of him being bribed by those Chinese allegations that he's being bribed, the other question is, if you're bribing someone, you're committing an offense. Yeah. So meaning you also should be taken in.
Well, you give us your calls, your contributions via our Facebook platform, as well as text us on the numbers on your screen on the topic that we're discussing this morning in terms of the resignation of former Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Minister in Stanley Kakubo on alleged financial scandal. Yeah, and we did also see a comment from Pompundu Senior on our Facebook platform saying, "Good morning, madam. Without wasting much of your time, Honorable Kakubo, the man is corrupt. SEC must go in and investigate him properly. That I call him." Also that. And there's also a comment from Kingsley Manila, all the way from Mazabuka, saying, "Okay, good morning, Camnet TV family, breakfast show. Guys, you're doing well, missing a lot of breakfast show. Now I'm back." Right, it's good to also have you back. You can also do the same by simply calling us or getting in touch with the numbers that are on your screen, and you can actually fuse in your contributions or your perspective in terms of what is currently happening on the resignation of the former Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. And, well...
Yeah, and other people are saying the move that he took was a brave move, unlike waiting for the president, you know, to do the firing and him just resigning on moral ground. But anyway, we have seen that the Anti-Corruption Commission have said that they have taken interest in the matter. We wait to see the outcome, and we pray that it will be soon, you know, this outcome will soon be adduced to the public, so that, you know, the public are aware of what exactly had transpired, and you know that this matter is put to rest at the end of the day, because we have seen that the former minister himself is claiming these are malicious claims from social media.
Malicious claims from social media, and it's about my private family business.
Yeah.
But private family business, why did you attach saying I'm resigning because I don't want to distract aspect of government? Yes, we do understand that he was a former cabinet minister. However, I don't agree with the distraction aspect. How do you distract government when you resign and then you're saying this is your private family business? Yeah, I think we just wait and see, especially that we're at a time where some section of society have alleged that the fight against corruption is just targeted at certain individuals.
Certain individuals, so, especially those in the opposition.
Exactly, and this actually sets a tone as well as maybe a pace in terms of how issues of corruption are being handled in the country. After even the president pronounced himself to say issues of corruption going forward should be heard within 5 months in the courts of law.
Yes.
So we look forward to how this case is going to unfold, given the fact that the Anti-Corruption Commission has taken interest. So just like former Lusaka Provincial Minister Boma Lusaka yesterday was indicating to say, we're going to see how the law is being applied. Is it selective or equal? I think those are concerns that a lot of people in society now are looking forward to in terms of how this case is going to be handled. Because he said they are malicious. Obviously, because even yourself, when you find you something...
But you, other questions that are coming through is, do you think he was pressured to tender in his resignation following social media concerns, following the public concerns about what transpired and the video that emerged?
On that aspect, for now, we can only speculate.
Yeah.
We can only speculate, but those that are speculating that maybe he was pressured could be have been those that came across some sort of write-ups that were there, that no, there's a meeting that was scheduled with him and the president, so that they go and discuss over the same issue. But well, that is hearsay, that's speculation, but as it is, let's rely on information that has been provided, and this person put it in ink.
In ink,
to say, I'm the one that what should
resign, yeah, so that I don't distract government from bettering the lives of a citizen. And one thing, Nelson, that we need to look at, this is a former foreign affairs minister we're talking about, and you know the position of foreign affairs minister, we're talking about you interacting with international communities. So what face again? So anyway, we want to hear your views, our viewers who are watching us this morning. What is your take on the resignation of the former foreign affairs minister Stanley Kako? What do you think about that? Give us your comment. Those who are watching us live on Facebook, drop us that message. Let us get interacted, and those watching us in the comfort of your home, please do call us. We want to hear your views regarding this issue. But anyway, moving forward, let us look at a story where some residents have called on government to restructure the drainage system in Lusaka's central business district. Let's get to look at that story. We'll be back.
Most parts of the city, including the central business district, experience flooding during rainy seasons. According to a 2018 research by the Future Resilience for African Cities and Lands, this is mainly due to heavy rains, low topography, and highly permeable limestone, which gets saturated. This is compounded by indiscriminate disposal of waste, poor drainage design, and poor solid waste management that cause blocked drains. Despite government's interventions to mitigate this challenge, the CBD has continued to experience flooding whenever it rains. A check by this reporter Tuesday morning immediately after the rains found most places around the city flooded. Those spoken to as they unblocked the entry points for waters say the underground drainages that run around the city are not serving the purpose, as the water entry points are mostly blocked and the local authority seem unconcerned.
Tunaona pa kuja kuilinga mo uwezo upanga drainage, but I think maybe this time it's done, but twana sirize mshomusho. Mane tuonera monga manzi kusiza manzi mtao chantinga chite kwa they need to waka kwasure machani to mapos wabai manzi yazingena mu just pita mu drainage, and they need to wake up about malot, because malot sometimes yari sadi flat mshomusho
kwa question hata msapati kufanya ile limit alio tungaro mpaka safe omonga tumanzi ukimwa pakatene jaka pesa kuti ngati papakambanije fuma plastic ndiye vija manza pesa kuti manza sabwanji ama covering abati we to life fuma plastic manza mashtabwanji ama enda fast tumwe masebenzera pano kuba zembekeza bakanso basebenze na sense bantu kandi sensenzera pa manzi sitemene bake tebe tupezeka abantu kati manzi alipo pasawa makwera. So ngati manza aenda ndoma bokwera fast mabus station that's like mapezeka nice tisabwanji tandi zirako nice.
Others have called on authorities to restructure the drainage system in the CBD if they are to get rid of the perennial floods, as the current system seem to have failed to do the work.
The drainages was under the tarmac. If they make the drainage under out of the tarmac, it will be very easy. But even the councils to remove the sand or the dirt in under the drainage is very difficult. I'm sure it will be the make another system, not to maintain, because the water there is no way where to get it go. So that's what can I say, but it is not easy to maintain these drainages.
The unfortunate part is that the floods do not spare even health facilities, with Kamwala Clinic being one of the affected during Tuesday night rains. It took the Lusaka Hindu Association to urgently dig an emergency drain.
To thank the Lusaka Hindu Association for providing us with the logistics which we are using today to do some drainage works here in front of Kamwala Main Clinic. As you can see, this is a facility which has been prone to flooding in the past, and sometimes the flooding gets so severe that patients have to be moved from some wards which get flooded, and other facilities in the clinic also get flooded. But with this particular work, the Lusaka Hindu Association has given us the materials which we are currently using to dig this drainage and also lay the culverts.
Surely, it is worrying that some parts of the city have continued experiencing floods 59 years after independence, or because of indiscriminate disposal of waste, poor drainage system, and poor solid waste management. There is therefore need for authorities to expedite the implementation and enforcement of the solid waste management policy, improve recycling rates, and sensitize communities on waste disposal. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
According to the current statistics, as of Tuesday 26th December 2023, 7 people have died of cholera in the past 24 hours around the country, while 177 remain admitted in various facilities following the outbreak of the disease in October this year. As such, the Lusaka City Council embarked on a robust cholera response exercise in areas across the city. The exercise was spearheaded by the local authorities' Department of Public Health and included the disinfection of markets and bus stations, distribution of chlorine, and the collection of garbage and historical waste. However, a check at the Kamwala Market garbage collection point by the Camnet news crew found overflowing waste is the order of the day due to the non-collection of waste from the collection point. A trader from this market has appealed to Lusaka City Council to clear the garbage to prevent cholera cases at the market.
Kamwala market, it's too much.
tinazula maningi cyane so situzowakasivatidonhezera cyane but vapurezidendi anakambapa kuti vati mwalepera mungasiyetinga pakepo wenango amenangakwanise kuyora chishaka.
As of December 25th, 75 cholera cases were recorded from 10 districts in the last 24 hours, with the cumulative number of cases since October standing at 2,217, with 62 deaths and 2,069 discharges. Meanwhile, Lusaka City Council Assistant Public Relations Manager Nyambe Wulumba says preventive measures have been heightened, especially in areas of trade.
Together to ensure that we curb the further spread of this particular disease. At the moment, the council has continued to ensure that we disinfect public places such as markets, bus stations, and public toilets, including compounds. We've so far disinfected Kulima Tower, Kamwala Intercity, New Soweto, and other bus stations. The program continues to other areas to ensure that we promote cleanliness around the city.
With the prevalence of such issues, one is left to wonder if truly the Lusaka City Council is working around the clock to mitigate the cholera outbreak. Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Those are some of the stories that we are looking at. A story pertaining to garbage as piling up at Kamwala Market, as well as a story also to do with drainages. And drainages, talking about issue of drainages. Yesterday was a heavy rain day, and we saw how parts of the Lusaka Central Business District were actually in drains, and as if that was not all. We also saw some compounds that had a lot of water just having nowhere to be channeled to. And we don't know how the situation is right now, because I can safely confirm at the moment that we've also seen the clouds still forming up in terms of ensuring that we also maybe see some sort of rains this morning. And also interesting to note is that we are looking forward to you coming through and giving us your perspective, giving us your contribution pertaining to the resignation of former Foreign Affairs and International Cooperations Minister Stanley Kakubo over financial scandals that have actually emerged. And we've seen that this issue has gone viral on social media. Social media has been flooded with the alleged scandal, and a lot of people are also asking questions, with some of the stakeholders alleging that the decision for him to resign was actually arrived at after a lot of pressure from
external factors,
and major supervisors, and others would put it that the major supervisor in this regard. And these are also concerns that are just coming through, and we've seen that even after his resignation, also we've seen that the said Chinese nationals that are alleged to have been part of this business transaction also coming to the fore and claiming that we need about 22.7 million kwacha to be refunded to us, plus 10% interest, as well as a refund the $300,000 worth bends back to us, because it was a failed deal according to them, and they're alleging that this should be done within 48 hours.
Well, it's up to them to go to court and prove these allegations before the courts of law. Yeah, anyway, moving forward, we did, on a sad note, we did see the police yesterday issuing a statement where they did indicate that 16 people have died in road traffic accidents during this year's Christmas holiday. The 16 died in the 15 fatal accident out of 281 road traffic accidents recorded during the Christmas holiday. We also saw yesterday that 13 people died in a road traffic accident in Serenje District, Central Province. Wow. And we also did see Central Province Permanent Secretary confirming that, saying that 39 people were seriously injured, or rather are seriously injured in this road traffic accident that occurred yesterday in Serengeti district. We do send our condolences to the 16 people that died, to the families of the 16 people that died during these Christmas holidays. But we shall continue to emphasize that during this period, people should exercise, all conscience when they are on the road and ensure that they follow all the road traffic rules and regulation, and not be too much excited where you now state or rather resort into driving whilst you are drunk. That is not safe, and you're putting your life at risk. Yeah. You should enjoy yourself. Yes, we are not, but enjoy yourself in a responsible manner. We want to see you in 2024. We only have few days remaining for us to, go into the year 2024, where we want to see a lot of major developmental change in terms of at national level as well as personal level. Yeah,
we do want to see our viewers, our audience out there in 2024, and I can safely confirm that we have done away with exactly 360 days. We only have 5 more days to go to 2024. Interesting enough, also, we've got a comment from Paul Sakala. Paul Sakala, good morning to you this morning, who's alleging that SEC, which interests are they talking about? They know this case will not go anywhere. Well, for now, we can only speculate. We still wait to the actual outcome, not until they're done with their job. We need to give them space for them to do their job. Once they're done with their due diligence, they'll still come back to us and indicate to say, you see,
inform us.
This is the state at which we are, and this is what happened. And the correct position is this one.
And one thing that, we have seen that the president has continued to emphasize that, relevant law agencies should do thorough investigations, because we have seen that most of the times these half-baked investigations have led to the state losing a lot of money through compensation. We saw previously that a lot of people were being compensated before the courts of law, and these are something that we can avoid if only law enforcers can do their investigations thoroughly before they make those arrests or decide to drag someone before the courts of law.
Yeah, and again, the first thing I thought of again was we see that there's such a scandal that has popped up. Yes, whether true or not true, we still await for that to be determined. Also, the issue that was just clicking into my mind was, now if the former cabinet minister is alleging that that was a private business, but we're talking about a mine. So really, have we done due diligence when it comes to the issue of just managing these mines that we have as a country, or in terms of when we look at the licensing procedures and everything? Because I do believe there are a lot of people that also want to be part and parcel in terms of the mine industry, in terms of them exploring, in terms of them operating at these mines. And you could imagine that he was a cabinet minister and then he's privileged to some certain amenities, yet there was someone maybe that also wanted the same mine. But anyway, we can only speculate.
Those are concerns that we have continued to see from various people coming on board. But again, the other question is, when we're talking about selling your mine, because this is like you selling your land and everything to these foreigners, at what extent should you do that? Because I remember that during the former administration, when Madam Jean Kapata was land minister, if I'm not mistaken, she did indicate that they'll come up with a law where Zambian will not be mandated to sell land to foreigners. I don't know how far that law has been. It's something that we need to follow up as a media, as media. But this tells you something that, if you go in other countries, the procedure is cumbersome for one to acquire such privileges of owning a mine in certain countries. For example, you might be given a certain period. For example, if you're going to be an investor in that country for 10 years, then your license should just concentrate on a period of 10 years and not go beyond where you start owing the whole land and stuff like that. So anyway, these are the concerns that we have continued seeing, and What can we do? We just wait for the relevant authorities to ensure that, you know, everything is put in order and in check at the end of the day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we look forward to how this case is going to unfold, because it is in the public domain now, and everyone is actually anxious to see how this case is going to be handled. And we're seeing concern from the likes of former Minister of Lusaka Province in Boma Lusambo saying, okay, hopefully SEC will treat the former minister also the way we've been treated in terms of applying the rule of law, in terms of ensuring that this case is adequately or maybe extensively investigated. As he alleges that, you see, if that is not the case, then please bring even those things, those materials you've made us forfeit to the commission, so that we are at par.
Those are the concerns, and we have seen that the president has on several occasions indicated that if you are found in any corrupt activities, or you abrogate the law, you are on your own, regardless of which political party you are affiliated to. But one other interesting aspect, Nelson, is that in this statement that the former minister indicated, in view of the matter that is currently in the media regarding malicious claims over a business transaction between my private family business and our business partner, it raises, you know, one way is claiming they're malicious, but the videos, if he resigned and he's confirming that it was a transaction of business.
Yeah.
So
anyway, we just like I've said, I think we wait to see how things will just get to unfold. But even before we close, I think this is a matter now that is also going to actually set, in terms of the
precedence,
precedence, as well as set, because debate has been, corruption fight in the country is just targeted at certain individuals. But now we shall have some sort of understanding, because, for instance, those in government now have argued that we had Luapula minister that was fired in Derek Chulundika over Sujilite cases and the like. We also saw some reshuffles being made at various levels. So you see, the thing is that at various levels, that is Ministry of Mines. If you remember those, those reshuffles for the PSCs that were there, and then everything was made in such a manner. But debate has also just been that, you see, this corruption fight in the country is just targeted at certain individuals, especially those that were part of the previous government. With such happening now, a lot of people honestly are looking forward to how this case is going to be concluded, and ensure that all the meat to the story are brought together, and they create a great understanding to society, so that they don't ask any questions and suspect grey matter being left.
Exactly. And you should be aware that this is not the first time that the former minister is coming into the limelight of the public, and, you know, with these scandal issues, because we did see previously that in 2022, that somewhere in April, we did see him walking out in a certain Chinese company where he alleged that what he was carrying was a calendar and stuff like that. So right now, a lot of people had, you know, questioned all those things before he did tender in his resignation. A lot of people were bringing up those concerns that this is not the first time he's involved in such alleged, you know, matters have come forth involving him. But anyway, we have seen that a lot of people have also did allude that he was brave enough to resign on moral ground, to pave way for investigations, so that at the end of the day he can have his his name cleared, because these are a lot of concerns and brave allegations that have been leveled against him.
Yeah, grave allegations indeed. We've seen that also this case gets to develop. We've seen also the Chinese nationals come to the party indicating that, you see, within 48 hours, we want you to pay us 22.7 million kwacha and a 10% interest in terms of the business transaction that we did transact between the two of us, as well as refund that vehicle, the Benz that was given to you, that is worth 300,000 US dollars. And we just got a comment from our Facebook platform, even before we get to close, from Evangelist Kasoka, who's alleging that they are packing their stomach for getting us voters. Well, that's our opinion. We do appreciate for that comment. And anyone else that did come through in terms of providing us with a comment on our Facebook platform, we really appreciate. We definitely endeavor to follow and provide updates relating to what is the current status over this case and what should be seen going forward. For we know that, yes, government or the president has said, when you do something that is wrong, you're on your own. But what is so interesting on this case is that the Anti-Corruption Commission have taken keen interest. So we look forward to how the investigations are going to unfold and how this case is going to be concluded. This has been the Wednesday edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show, where we talk nothing governance, policy and politics. On a Wednesday, I have been your host, Nelson Zulu, as well as my colleague
Miriam Kaimba, and this is where we call it a day. Do enjoy your festive days in a very responsible manner. We want to see you in 2024. Have a blessed day. For now, it's bye-bye.